Sports brings you a special edition of the National Football League for this Thanksgiving matchup. It's the reigning Super Bowl champs and the Chiefs on Thursday night.
It is perhaps the best home field advantage in all of football, and certainly the loudest, as we welcome you inside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Arrowhead Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was just about off the charts. They're set for football as the Chiefs get set to do battle with their opponents. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Time to set the old turducken aside and get ready for football as here we go on a Thanksgiving night. This one fielded at the 5. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. A look there at his numbers on the ground a week ago. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And they needed to be because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and each play took on more importance, and they got it done.
Only 2 yards, and it'll be a punt on their opening possession. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it is permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved, able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says our guy is better than your guys. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right away, they told the other team, guess what? He's just better.
2nd and 3. To Chenault on the slant. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 41-yard line. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now, and it's London with the football. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 23. Here's a give to Etienne. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
2nd and 6. Out to his left. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Chances are good. He's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in this opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that could be a really, really frequent combination. And it's caught. Touchdown. Laviska Shenault with touchdown number 8 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. To throw, it's Mahomes. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Looking to throw again on second down. Mahomes. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Now Mahomes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So they keep the football, but now face 2nd and long. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Jayon Brown. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. 2nd and 10. Laviska Shenault, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down. Forced out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And that is caught. One-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there just before halftime. So we've reached halftime here on a Thanksgiving night. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Once again, hope everyone out there has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Settling down now to watch Thursday night football. But let's take a look ahead to what's coming here on the rest of this holiday weekend. Plenty of good games to choose from in that early window. We'll highlight the one down in Tampa. A big test for the Bucs at home as they'll take on the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Then more good stuff to follow later in the afternoon. One good one being under the dome in New Orleans, where it'll be the Saints taking on the New England Patriots. And then finally, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. We'll move on now to check out the next-gen stats in that first half for our home team. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit. The final adjustments taking place here for both of these squads. They're about ready for the second half in Kansas City. And for the call, we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Taken from about the 12. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Let's go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now back to throw. Flushed out right. Connection made with Chenault. Fighting through it, he's got space. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big play there on the catch and run. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, and that's a run born out of ferociousness. He took on that initial contact and in his mind just screamed, "Out of my way," and kept right on going and wound up turning it into a big play.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He'll find ETN out of the backfield. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They'll set up a throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. Laviska Shenault. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Black Knights take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. 5 plays there on that drive. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
That catch good for only a couple.
I know it was a game, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the catch and run. We're back now in KC. We are headed to the fourth here on Thanksgiving night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And a nice pickup there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2nd and 5 now. Mahomes steps up, and he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the... And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. When he went on the move there and started rolling out, I thought there was a window, but that window closed quickly, intercepted.
And sometimes, despite how big your arm talent is, you don't get enough on a throw when you're on the move as opposed to setting your feet and stepping into one. That may have been the case there, and the defense certainly benefited.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Mahomes to throw it. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2. First down marker at the 5-yard line. The quick slant caught. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Here's Mahomes. This is caught. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now, so you're not protected.
Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Travis Etienne, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Black Knights have moved out in front. Now the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it was capped off by a Travis Etienne touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off.
Nice pick, nice pick.
So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess that allows for extra yardage on the return.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. 2nd and 11. They're going to look to throw, eluding the pressure right. That's going to be caught. It's Chenault. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating. Even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down, and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also on the ground, but both really started to come in sync. So for our visitors, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos.